Today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at the tropics as well as the upcoming really big increase in storminess. I mean, we've been seeing persistently above average precipitation for what feels like the entire summer, but really it's mostly the later half of June into now the first half of July, especially along the eastern seaboard and even more especially across the northeast. So we're going to be talking all about that today, and as well as the temperature pattern towards the end. Anyway, be sure to check out our other business Prestige Weather for weekly consulting calls on the weather. So if you have plans at any point, we will be free to give you guys a call for sure. We also have our seasonal and monthly forecast early access over there as well. So for only $5 a month, we offer that. And also we have some more exciting things that I think are even more exciting than anything we're currently offering on the way very soon for you guys, but I can't talk any more about that. Be sure to check it out in the description and the pinned comment down below. Let's get straight into things and let's talk about this tropical depression Dawn now. As you can see, we have about 35 mph winds with this one, which means it's pretty darn close to tropical storm status. It's a very strong tropical depression is what I would say. 1,011 millibars, so this is actually continuing to weaken as far as pressure is concerned. But we expect this to actually intensify as it turns south and curves and almost touches exactly where it started out. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here at the cone forecast. And as you can see, it's expected to remain that tropical depression status until about 6 p.m. on Tuesday. And then by 6 a.m. on Wednesday, we do expect this one to reach tropical storm status again before curving northward once more, leaving the opportunity for Atlantic Canada there to potentially get impacts from this one. I'm not saying it's super likely, but there is that possibility that this one kind of continues to kind of just move straight towards the United States or Canada there. Maybe Maine or surrounding areas in New England, if it takes a very far southern track, could receive some indirect or maybe even direct impacts. Anything is possible. I always say that. So we will be watching this one very closely daily with you guys. Let's just take a look at this upcoming storminess. And look, as we move towards this afternoon, as you can see, we do have some thunderstorms moving in across portions of the interior mid-Atlantic in through the Ohio Valley and even all the way back into the plains. There is some coastal areas here dealing with some isolated thunderstorm activity. That's fairly typical this time of year, of course. Now, as we move towards Tuesday, tomorrow morning, or better yet, tomorrow afternoon, we can see that New England starts to get some thunderstorm activity rolling again. We can see back here in the Midwest, we start to get some activity once more returning to the area. Definitely something to think about. Wednesday the 19th here, we can see that for the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley here, we can see a lot of thunderstorm activity moving through for the day on Wednesday. We do see that the four corner states, the plains, the Rockies, and the Southwest are seeing some very scattered about thunderstorm activity. And it's actually the same story as we take a look here at the upper Midwest and South Central Canada, kind of just those scattered about thunderstorms. As we move this towards Thursday, we start to see some interesting things happening as we see more of a flow deeper into the east. This is going to move thunderstorms in, as you can see. So we're going to continue to see activity like this. So we're seeing plenty of this. And then we can also see some thunderstorm activity across the Rockies, the plains. And really over here, it's the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, even the deeper south here dealing with some of these thunderstorms. There seems to be three main pockets. So definitely seeing some activity moving in once more for later this week. Now, by Friday, what we see in the afternoon is that we have some activity here in the Great Lakes through into the northeast. And then for portions of the deeper south, once more, we have these thunderstorms going on. But honestly, this is pretty common this time of year, obviously, for the deeper south. As we take a look at the Rockies into the plains, we're seeing, again, thunderstorm activity once more as well. For Saturday here, the 22nd, we can see it's a very coastal day as we see kind of just the Gulf and the East Coast dealing with these scattered about thunderstorms. Once again, I hate to reiterate, but this is pretty spotty. This is pretty scattered, and there is no guarantee that you necessarily get hit with a cell, but the neighboring town might, and you might, and they might not. So it just varies, and it's hard to predict, especially this far out. So we can only go based off of pretty much chance of seeing thunderstorms, which the chance is certainly there. Now, for the upper Midwest here, we can see some thunderstorm activity moving into Minnesota, the Dakotas here, Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri. We're seeing a lot of these thunderstorms rolling in. Even for Sunday here, as you can see, I mean, especially across the deeper south and southeast, we're seeing a lot of these thunderstorms taking place. We see some smaller areas like here in the Ohio Valley, here in the northeast, also seeing some thunderstorm activity. So really just an active pattern. I mean, that's kind of the moral of the story here, to say the least. As we keep going with this, by Monday evening, what we can see is, again, another very active day, especially across the southeast, Ohio Valley, and mid-Atlantic there. Kind of made a face there with a weird eye, but whatever. As we continue towards Tuesday afternoon, we see, again, the mid-Atlantic and portions of the southeast dealing with these thunderstorms. So east, picking up on the trend. A lot of activity here in the east. As you can see, for the northeast here, we do see some activity for the day on Wednesday the 26th. Still the four corner states seeing some of this. And then, obviously, I mean, this time of year it's very common, but I can't help but notice that it's very persistent. This isolated activity being there constantly in the southeast. So that is certainly worth noting. Now, as we move on and take a look here at the total precipitation, you can see that across the plains into the Ohio Valley, we have a pocket of some above average precipitation there. Anywhere in the yellows is going to be 1 inch to 2 inches. Reds will be 2 to 5. And then we can see for the Gulf Coast into the East Coast here, right there. We can also see, again, those 2 to 5 inch amounts piling up for some areas. I guess not piling up, that would be more of a snowfall term, but really just adding up, I guess I should say, for a lot of these areas, especially the deeper south into Florida, and then the mid-Atlantic up through New England. Those are the two areas we're watching very closely. Now, temperature pattern here. We see this cool down coming through that we've been talking about. I'm going to stop putting it in the thumbnail and title. I mean, it bothered a lot of people. I think most of them didn't watch the video at all, because clearly, I mean, you see on screen, this is like exactly what we've been kind of calling for. But if you guys really don't want to see that in the thumbnail and title, I am going to switch it and start talking more about the storminess, because that is always an option. So I just want to let you guys know. Obviously, the viewer feedback is important. We can see that there is a positive PNA, and this forces this cold air to move down into the United States, bringing temperatures down probably from the upper 80s, lower 90s, down into the lower 80s, mid 80s, which is far below normal for the summertime for most of these areas. So this is going to be a very nice relief from the heat. And that's exactly what I mean when I call for cold in the summertime. I'm not calling for 30, I'm calling for lower 80s, just to reiterate. Now, all the way towards the end, which is going to be for August 1st, we can see there's still some cooler air here for the Northeast, an area that has been far below normal overall for the summertime. But we do see a surge of heat here across a lot of the East and the Midwest here in the plains. By the time we're reaching August 1st, and we actually do see a little bit of a cooling trend here, which might be indicative of a negative PNA trying to develop, which could bring us into warmer territory for the East. So we might be talking more about a heat wave upcoming than a cool down for the East long down the road. So we need to watch for that potential switch in the pattern. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.